Hello everyone, it's Mark3 and welcome back to a bit of Screwdrivers, a bit more building, bodging, toy kit racing. Yeah, that is what this game is about. And there has actually been an update since the last episode, which is why, well, part of why this one's slightly delayed. But, well, we're back again. And, as you can see, we've got some progress. Behind the scenes, the developer is doing quite well. And there is even a vote going on right now for which career mode would you prefer the game to have in the future. So that's, it seems, is part of why there's several different career progression types. My vote goes to the tech tree career mode because it's more flexible in many respects, and it lets you actually, it gives you a bit more freedom about which part you get when, because I didn't like how ranked has been locking off more desirable parts at the very end of the thing when there's less races that might benefit from having it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I voted for Tech Tree, and as you can see, the overall that is the one that's winning by a considerable margin. So moving on, I have put together some more experimental vehicles based on comments from Happy Hafer and Heismeister. So as we go, I've even made a Mark 10. Which should look familiar because it's got this overall profile similar to the Mark 8, but we'll get to that. So, I should probably start with Happy Afer's comment, because this one has actually been addressed in large part in the more recent update. Let's switch to category 2 where the experimental stuff is lying around. So, we've got the testbed vehicles here. I've not actually tried this one, but I've retried a couple of these, and there's a new testbed here vehicle here as well. So, did not expect the suspension to be that bad. Feels like the whole thing is meant to work with either a steeper attachment angle or a much heavier vehicle. Actually, the big problem, I think, is the bike suspension was just too soft, you know? So a heavier vehicle, if anything, make the problem worse, and I think that's what's actually been fixed about it as we drop in, because the entire thing's been stiffened up. So it's not bouncing to and fro, as you can see. We're not rocking back and forth now, we're actually quite stable. There is still a lot of play because we've got a lot more travel range on these suspensions compared to the others. So it's not as solid as the conventional suspension types, but at least on this one is actually working somewhat okay if you ignore the fact it tends to tip over. But if we go back to the garage, we'll load in the 4-1 as we continue. The flat car is probably easier with a 4-turning wheel configuration, maybe. It's more like I need a vehicle that accelerates like a rocket and I can keep it under control is what I need for that one, I think, more than anything else. I don't remember which vehicle I did it in the Tech Tree campaign, but yeah, if you look at this one again, it's actually kind of stable as long as I don't turn too hard. So a wider vehicle would be better. But we're actually in very good control now, as you can see. Oops, turn around. There we go. Yeah, it's just, well, there is actually a new stat as well. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, as soon as it gets a bit too far and starts to reach the side, that's when the suspension starts to encounter big problems. Rock climb would have been easier to climb with either a car made for more ground clearance or by having at least one set of wheels, different heights. Both ideas should help with the beaching issue. Yeah, long cars, I think, is the problem, along with the fact I'm not on the big off-road wheels as well. I've still not really got into those, really. So yeah, moving backwards. Because there's actually, I'll switch over to Heismeister's comment before I list the things that Happy Afer wants to see. Because Heismeister wanted to see, Heismeister wanted to see a vehicle which actually focuses on what I'm talking about here. Which is, Heismeister asked if I could see a 6-wheel vehicle which has the bike suspensions and an extra set of wheels in the middle to stabilize it with regular suspension. This is a prototype I did with just like on 6 wheels with bike suspension. I did for my own curiosity more than anything. But I have done one based on what Happy Afer said. So Happy Afer had similar ideas to what. It's like, wow, I keep getting YouTube messed up, don't I? Heismeister said that, not Happy Afer. My apologies. Wow. I think my brain is on a bit of a 5-second delay or something today. Whatever. Right. Highest was asking for a vehicle with an extra set of wheels in the midline, so I made the 6-wheel to test with just these when I realised that the suspension was more stable. And having a bit more suspension in the sides compared to 4 has made it, as you can see, it's really solid in general. Though this one does actually have 4 steering wheels, I must admit, as well. And it also, I should probably point out, has 6-wheel drive, of all things, so all-wheel drive. Though, something I should also mention I've noticed, which might be an issue in some designs, is while this game has all-wheel drive support, it doesn't actually have a differential lock, which is something that off-road vehicles sometimes have. Anyone who's played Mud Runner or Snow Runner, 2 games that example that I can think of offhand, would probably know what I mean. But the issue is this. A differential lock means all wheels rotate at the same speed no matter what. So you're locking the wheels relative to each other. But this game doesn't have a diff lock, so if one wheel is in the air, like if you're trying to climb a mountain or something, then the power winds up going almost exclusively, and then actually exclusively, to the wheel that's free, because that wheel can spin a lot faster than the other ones. So the other wheels slow down and then just can't really get any power. And to my knowledge, this game doesn't actually have any kind of support for a diff lock upgrade. And it's not something I'm sure we can do mechanically either. So there's that. But anyway, I just mentioned that as we got the last one for Heistmeister's thing coming up in a moment. But moving on. I'm going back to Happy Ava's comment now. See, I can get the names right, I swear. As for what vehicles I want to see, I have 2 ideas. One, make a vehicle that bend in the middle through the use of a hinge or 2. I think a 45-degree bend probably breaks the car, so maybe 30-degree max. I tried that, and sadly, I don't know why, but in my game, the hinge doesn't seem to be working. As in, I can press it, it rotates, but I can't click the interface to change the angle for it. I don't know why. Probably something in my system or setup, I don't know. But basically, I can only get a 90-degree bend, which is not what we want in a steering system. So, yeah. Sorry, I don't think I can actually deliver on that one. But the other one, though, caught my interest, and that's one of the reasons for a delayed video. If we go to this guy here. Yeah, a fiendish thingy. A diagonal build. All vehicles so far have rectangular outlines. This time I want to see a diamond outline, or whatever compromise you can get to work. So I've wound up with this thing. And if we explode it, there's the internal mechanicals for you. As you can see, it's a thing. It has 6 wheels, 3 steering, 3 non. But it also has 4-wheel drive. The bigger wheels actually... Let's get this in the build mode so you can have a quick look at it. So yeah, I actually tried to make a vehicle that looks like something, and I wound up with a vehicle that looks like... It's a mangled Roomba, I think, is probably the best way I'd describe this thing. So yeah, to lock it in place, I've got basic suspension on the front and back, so there's no real play for hitting things here. Just to get the wheels exactly where I want them. It's based on medium wheels. And then on the sides, for more travel, I've got a slightly better suspension. These ones can't steer either. And then to aid with traction, because I realized just having the front wheel for steering was not doing well, and having front and back was actually causing issues like the 4-wheel steering was, I put an extra pair of wheels on the front edges, which are not actually powered, because, you know, the entire gear train is kind of all over the place, delivering power here, there, and everywhere. The engines are actually mounted in the sides here, of all places. Then they come into the central axle. I think it's over... It's buried in here, actually. This is the connection point. Power comes in here, feeds into the gear train. Then the gear train is delivering along this line here. Yeah, this line here, because it comes to here, then it goes to here. Then it switches over to the angle to this one. Same at the front here, that's mirrored. Then this one connects onto here, which then splits down the sides and dips underneath the powertrain, which has to actually dip upwards to get past it, to get to the engine blocks. So this thing is a bit of a faff to do. And sadly, I did this before the most recent update, and the most recent update actually included mirror mode. So mirror mode is now actually a thing. This would have been a lot easier with mirror mode, I must admit. Oh yeah, I'm going to bring that into some of the racing. Unfortunately, now it's ranked for everything else. So Mark 9.1, then Mark 9.2, I went trying to do things with a more compact vehicle. So this guy has actually got a bodged gear train, so it's a bit unsure about things. You see there's a couple of spikes there because it's got a shifter in the bottom to give it an extra gear. So this is a two-speed vehicle basically, but that doesn't actually disconnect the train up here. So the gear train should be shredding its gears. If they ever implement block damage to the gear trains, this thing will tear itself apart. But it works. It does a thing. But yeah, this is the off-road version. And I went and made a similar thing for a road-based vehicle using actual road vehicles, rear-wheel drive, actual full gear shifter involved. And of course, the bodge on the back here is something that I want to talk about in a moment, which is, again, the axle shifter to get this thing into the right alignment for it. So all pretty good. This is actually really beefy for its weight. Very high power to weight ratio on that. Look at that power spike on it though. Really good top speed too. Anyway, 9.3. The 9.4 is the one based on Heistmeister's comments, as you can see here. Again, I tried to build a body for it. It's got the motorbike hinges front and back, which are all set to fully steer, and in the middle it's got a standard set which actually does a massive amount for the stability. So it does make this vehicle actually pretty drivable in the most part. It's fully powered and everything, so really nice. Actually, I should mention in passing, while the fixes allowed the four-wheel and stuff vehicles to function now, sadly a motorbike based one, it still has the same balancing issue, and it doesn't stay upright properly. So you still need extra support in the form of extra wheels. So an actual motorbike still isn't possible. Moving on. 9.3. That was the 9.4. Heistmeisters with an actual body. And then because the body actually weighed it down a fair bit, I decided to make a 9.5, which is literally just that with the body shell stripped off. So this is like bare essentials. So that's the difference between these two. Same acceleration, lower grip by a quite considerable gap, but the benefits gained in losing the extra mass actually makes this one more controllable despite losing about 100 odd points in the grip score. So this one's actually a better, more stable racer than the 9.4. It's an exposed gear train, as you can see. So this is the vehicle stripped back to its bare essentials, and you can see again I've got these corner gears shunting things into the actual alignment I want them to be. Oh, also, this is four-wheel drive too. Oh, is this six-wheel drive? I don't remember. It is six-wheel drive, actually, this one. I wasn't quite sure. I put this one together last week. Yeah, six-wheel. Okay, moving on. Car has errors? Why do you have errors? You didn't... Unless I deleted something. I might have just accidentally deleted something when I was loading into it. Well, that sucks. There's no undo button as far as I'm aware. Well, I guess we're going with the full body version, because the 9.5 is no longer functional. Sorry. Okay. Then the actual one I built a Mark for, because I was struggling to build a Mark. I actually took a Mark 8, stripped out all the guts, and rebuilt it around a 3-speed shifter. The result is actually 182 horsepower versus, compared to Mark 8, 147, sorry, 143. But it's got better acceleration, better grip, it is heavier, and it's got less aerodynamics. But because it's a recent construction, it's got the most recent stat as well, which is this one, tipping value. This actual chassis is very narrow, and the weight is kind of higher up in it. So this is how well the vehicle can turn at high speed without flipping over. And this scores only a 0.6 but its top speed is 387. So, yeah, this guy is actually kind of beefy. Anyway, I've spent 15 minutes waffling on about different designs. I want to get them into actual races. So, I'm going to go to career mode. The plan was originally to do, like, try to get gold and everything for this episode. Don't know how far we're going to get, because we've got 3 new races that need to be done. And I've already wandered around in Free Drive and picked up all the parts I've got unlocked up in there that I can. So I'm just missing a couple of colours. But we need to break out a transporter again. There's a ghost race and a ghost race. Why? Gear plate. Basically a large gear coming off an axle coming at 90 degrees. So that's an option for making the powertrain turn a corner. And a 1x1 version of that 3x3 meshing gear. Another option to make a gear train turn a corner. And a worm gear. Another option for making the powertrain turn a corner. This one's kind of bulky in a way, but this one includes a power difference in rotational speed as well. But these two allow for more compact systems than what we've actually got in existing vehicles. Those 3x3 cog teeth ones. So that's stuff that needs to be done. So I need to go and actually do some stuff, and I need to do some races. East Coast fun. Let's break out. I need to race on all of these. Well, in particular, I want to do the ones that I built in response to Happy Aether and Heismeister. So the 9.1 and 9.4 need to be used. Where will this one be good? I mean, this one has actually got really good traction. It's kind of heavy. Plus, I've never raced these ones before either, so I don't know what I need to do with them. So, this is my first time. Forgive me. I do not know what I'm doing. That's also the gigantic bridge. Wait. I did that because I've got the Secret Queen, but now that's been reset, which means that race has been reworked. Has anything else been reworked? No. Also worth noting, by the way, is they have actually redone trophies and things as well. So it has the leaderboards set up overall, and you can also see leaderboards for your given vehicle class. So S+ class, S class, C class, A class, whatever. So anyway, enough faffing around. Let's go ahead and get us a new piece. I won't build with these, but I want these pieces. So let's throw the diamond into the banked bridge and see how we do. I don't know why I've interchanging between the two names there, so I am sorry about that. Happy Aether and Heismeister. Very different names. I think it's because my brain's a bit scrambled at the moment. Anyway, off we go. You see, the diamond does struggle a bit on initial acceleration, but we do have a lot of wheels. The issue, though, is weight, as you can see there. Oh boy. And when it's slow, it actually suffers a lot on turning. That's why there's 2 extra turning wheels in the first place. This is not a very stable configuration. The fact I've lost a steering wheel is a bit of a concern, actually. Keeping this under control. Yep. Yeah. The problem with the diamond is it doesn't exactly have a confirmed front or rear per se. So as you can see, it's struggling to really stay under control. Oops. This is a terrible showing, I must admit. Maybe I picked the wrong vehicle completely into this. Oops. And then the skidding. That's a weight issue. This is a full bodywork, so this is a... Ooh. Yep. Exactly where you want to skid out there, isn't it? No. I feel like I'm going to lose this one. Call it a gut feeling. And they just didn't turn fast enough. Oop. There goes the rear wheel. I'm taking so much damage. And yeah. Okay. Let's get another vehicle. That does not working. Okay, good news. I actually noticed that my 9.5 was still in the list, so apparently I actually made a copy of it. So that was Bank Bridge. So this one, kind of interesting, actually. But I think I might want to try one of the racing ones on this one. I broke out the 9.5, which is the one based on Heistmeister's comment without the bodywork. Because mass in tight corners is a bit of an issue. You really want more tyres to try and counteract that. Got to remember though, this thing does actually have corner steering. But look at the acceleration though. Oops, turn. Yeah, this is why vehicles have wheels on the corners, I think, because it is flat out. It works a lot better than diamonds as I take flight. Yeah. I feel like I'm rusty. Oops. Give me a sec. Gotta keep a better control of your throttle. You are ready. Fishtailing. And that's why I don't like the 4-wheel steering. Oh, jeez. Because you got to remember, I'm on keyboard, and my computer's never willingly worked with a gamepad. I've never been sure why, but none of my gamepads have ever really worked with this computer. So I don't know why, but because of that, I'm tapping my keys very carefully to try and keep myself on control, because it's all or nothing if you're using the keyboard. And that's why I want to take 2-wheel over all-wheel steering any chance I get, because I can actually better control it. Yes, it does reduce my turning circle. But that's the price I'm willing to... Oh, that way. That's the price I'm willing to pay, though, to actually be able to race properly. I am just laughing at how bad I am. I am sorry. I feel like I'm making a very bad showing of this. Jeez. Where am I feel like I'm doing a very, very poor showing here. Oh. This is embarrassing. This is downright embarrassing. Oop. Sideways? No. Come on. I'm not even bronze tier in this race. I guess this is also a lesson, isn't it? If you get full freedom on your vehicle designs, for the love of God, make something that plays to your own strengths and traits as you control it. It's all fine and dandy slapping the latest, greatest, shiniest things onto the side of it, but if you can't control your darn vehicle, you're not going to get anywhere. Oh, come on. Also, as you probably noticed, those corner wheels, they are still extremely fragile. Losing those wheels happens way too easily, I think, still. The links need to be made more durable. No, don't skid on that. You were going straight. Why did you start to skid? I wanted to finish this this episode with the new parts, but I'm seriously questioning my ability to deliver on that. Oh, that's the finish line, really? 44. I'm both highly amused and highly embarrassed. I'm in the top 99%. Gee, thank you. That doesn't make me feel any better about that. Right, let's break out something that I can actually hopefully keep under control. Wow. Okay, here we go. Also, I must confess, that is the first race I've finished, but not actually earned the part on it. Because I need to at least beat bronze to get the part. This is the first time I actually completely failed to do that. So, we're in the Mark 9.3, because it's the only one with actual tarmac-based tyres. And this race is almost entirely on the road. Also, it's very light, it's front-wheel steering. Just have to try and keep it under control a little bit. And I'm already feeling so much better with this than the other ones. One drawback of these compact vehicles, though, is they actually have a very short wheelbase, and that means their turning performance isn't actually the best. But this one, if we keep it in line, it has a very, very good speed. And its acceleration is also very, very strong. Stay on the roads. Off-road, you actually have worse grip. Stay on the road. Yeah, its turning performance, though, is not very good. This vehicle needs to be reworked. If only I didn't like the off-road tyres so much. Also noticed, by the way, no wheels have fallen off yet. I count that as an improvement. Our first repair caused by poor turning. Yeah, this design really does suffer from very poor turning performance. It's very wide for how long it is, and that's, I think, causing a lot of trouble. Oh, please. If I didn't handbrake there, I would have been in serious trouble, and bronze is actually in danger of catching up with me. I need to speed up. I did it. I made it to the end. Top 92%. It's better than top 99%. I'll take it, I guess. Jeez. Gear plates. Gear converts power by a gear coming into the top side, so you can also change the direction of gearing on your drivetrain. So yeah, to get these high speed ones, I normally feed the engine through a 3-wide gear and then into the gear train. So this would actually take that function and combine it with changing the angle of power as well. So this thing would actually do a lot to compact the gear trains that I've been using in my vehicles, because it takes an extra step out from earlier on in the gear train as well, which I think is in itself quite nice. But anyway, 9.3, you can be retired. Your turning performance really sucks. So yeah, okay. I still want to try and do a decent showing with the 1, 4, and 5 if I can. If I can. Okay, bronze. East Coast fun. It implies there's some off-roading. Let's try this one with the diamond, I guess. Here we go. I found a speed camera. I'm going to restart that. Right. I'm pondering, would this design be more stable if I was like a hexagon? Then I'd actually have some length between 4 wheels on the outer edges and then a central wheel front and back. That might actually have been a... Wow, I found the same speed camera twice. Okay. Yeah, this guy's actually kind of wide. I see a bush, but there's a hidden speed camera in it. That's causing problems. Speed trap, 156.8. So yeah, I was speeding. Very much so. There it is. That's the thing that kept killing me. Oh, and there's something else to kill me. Oh. I'm having a great time so far. Yeah, I am very fast reaching the conclusion that the diamond is just really unstable to control. Oops. I only turned a little bit there, and I spun out massively. I don't like this thing. Maybe it's too big, maybe it's too heavy. Maybe a lighter diamond would have been better. But believe it or not, the performance with these extra front wheels on it is about the same as it was when I had just front and wheel steering. Actually, you know what? Let's actually prove that. Duplicate this one, please. And strip out the extra steering wheels on the sides, because those were just mounted there with great care. And convert the rear wheel to steering as well. Okay, so yeah, we can actually try this. I think this was probably what Happy Aether originally intended. Yeah, this is probably what Happy Aether kind of intended in the first place. I have front and rear steering, because side steering doesn't really make sense really in a diamond configuration. So front and rear we've got. And removing those 2 wheels has downgraded it from an S+ class to an A class. And look at that, its tip over rating is actually really low. It's very stable in that regard. But the high grip, it's got very high power. I think it's struggling because its mass is 1,300 odd kilograms. Well, that's how I'm struggling a little bit as well. Yeah, that might have come across in my recording, and the fact I got those names jumbled earlier. Something I secretly kind of worry about, actually, getting names wrong. Well, I was never been strong with names in the first place. But every now and then it's like my brain goes derp. Oh, be very careful. No, don't you lose traction. Yeah. My usual problem with front and... I am not enjoying this experience. One last test we can try on this one, then we can put it to bed. Okay, what have I done? I have, as you can see, changed out the wheels and suspension. So, we are now on Come on, you're supposed to have better traction on the tarmac, darn it. We have racing suspension. We have racing wheels. These are, by the way, the big ones, because the medium off. I feel like I'm bashing my head against the wall. I really do. Anyway, the medium off-roads are as wide as the large road ones. The medium road ones are actually narrower. Duplicate the unmodified one. The four-wheel steering, I feel, was biting me so hard. So this one, buddy, you are going to have. We're going back to a front end steering. I'll leave in place off-road suspensions on the sides because the sides do need protection. And I don't have enough big wheels. Installing big wheels on everything so traction is as good as it's going to get on the road. If this thing still continues to handle like a brick, or, well, it's not a brick. If this thing continues to handle like a spinning top, it's the layout that's faulty. It's an experimental vehicle, but the experiment is going so horribly wrong. I would call it more of an evolutionary dead end in its current form. I think it's just too heavy and too unstable. Maybe a light one could do it, but maybe someone with a controller could have better control. But I'm just struggling so hard with this thing. No other vehicle has fought me this hard in this. Yep. Speed camera, ignore it. If I can get bronze, that's all I need. I'm literally racing against a little wooden go-kart on wagon wheels and losing. That's how much I'm struggling. Oh no, there's off-road. We've got 6 wheels. Oh, that was bodywork. It only makes us lighter if we lose that. We're fine. Come on, stay straight, please. Thank you. Oh, and it just drifted into the wall. Yeah. I was trying to correct for that drift as it lost control, but then it just kept turning. This thing is very, very ornery and cantankerous to try and drive. It's terrible. Oh. It's terrible. I don't like this thing at all. We'll finish this race, darn you. But though I know I'm not going to get a part though for this one. Stop doing. Oh. Seriously, the gold has just finished, right next to me, and it seems to be doing something very interesting. This is the first race where I think I've technically been lapped. Ah, dang it. And again, once the tires start to let go, the vehicle basically becomes unrecoverable, and it just won't stop. Bronze time plus 64 seconds. Ouch. I'm not even in the top 99, I'm in the top 100%. The game is telling me, hey, you finished the race. Ouch! That stings quite a lot, actually. Ooh. Happy Afa, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to retire this thing. I don't want to touch it anymore. Please don't make me touch this thing anymore. I don't want to. Please. Spare me, please. I'll try another diamond design if you want. Just this one hurts. Anyway, we still need to get a bronze though to get the parts we want. So Eismeister, let's take your 9.4 out there. Yes, it has all-wheel steering. This is the heavy version. I honestly do think the 9.5 is better in pure controllability than 9.4 because the bodywork makes it look nicer, but it makes it a lot heavier. But I need to get the parts. I need the parts so I can build new toys for next time. Things are going so bad. I'm actually running out of recording time and time to edit, so that's actually going to actively delay this episode coming out if it goes much longer. Okay, here we go. Come on, six-wheeler. Let's show me something better. You're already feeling a lot more responsive. Just have to keep you under control, that's all. If you start to slide, yep, you don't like that, but you're actually holding up okay. The moment to say that, spin out. Right. Yeah, this guy, once the grip gives way, it doesn't like it very much at all, but... Stop oversteer. It actually feels better with that front wheel gone. I know it's horrible to say, but yeah, it feels better with that front wheel missing than when it had it. Oh my god, am I actually in with a shot for this? I was before I put myself in a ditch. Dang it. Yeah, this guy, as soon as the grip lets go, it just stops. It becomes uncontrollable. I will beat you, you accursed little wooden wagon wheel thing. I will beat you. I'm gonna switch over to the version without the bodywork. That should be enough to actually get me the bronze, I think. 9.5. Please save me from this. Please. Actually, you know, I think the part of the uncontrollability of this particular layout is coming from the fact, it's actually coming from how soft the bike suspension is. Or rather, I should say, the degree of travel that suspension has. No, stay in line, thank you. Yeah. If I don't overdo it, this vehicle can actually stay okay. But yeah, once the because of that, if I turn too hard too fast, then the rear wheel starts to lift off, which affects my turning capabilities quite drastically. I can hear the wooden abomination behind me, but I am still slightly ahead, so I'm gonna... Yeah, this one's doing better than the heavier version did. I might actually get this part. Oh, don't you dare lift off! As soon as it starts fishing, then... Nope. No, come back here. I will defeat you, you foul fiend. Ha! Know my pain. Whoops. This is actually very unstable. I need to repair. Please say that checkpoint didn't mess me up because I had to double back and get it. I was so far off track on that turner because I came into it too quickly as the vehicle was skidding. Oh. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. I don't want to do this again. Please. Please. Yes! Oh my god. As my vehicle's skidded back and forth. Top 98%. At this point, I'll take it. Corner gear. There we go. Small 90-degree transmission. An excellent piece to get. Okay. I think without a controller, I just don't have the fine control for a four-wheel steering. This one I think was slightly undermined by having motorbike steering in the corners, which made it was very easy for it to start to tilt over and then lose the back wheel on the ground. The 9.4, yeah, the weight works against it. The 9.5 is just flat out much easier to control, despite statistically having worse grip. The lower mass is more than worth it. 9.2, so the 9.3, steering problems. Not very good. I think the big steering to try and keep it stable undermined it in the end on this one. Actually, the big suspensions on the backs. 9.1. Why are we here but to suffer? This is a monument to all my sins. I don't want to touch this thing again. As I said, I will build another diamond type one if you want me to, but I will not build it this big, this heavy, this powerful. This thing just, it's unstable as all hell. I'm not going to touch that. Okay, moving on. I've got one more race, and I've only got a couple of tries left to try and do time-wise before I have to actually go to work and then physically push this video back till tomorrow in terms of release time. So this is a transport race. It's not even one that I... 7H, you're coming out. I don't know. I have no idea what this delivery requires, but it rewards the worm gear, and I want the worm gear. I guess the 9.3 and the 10 might not even get a showing in this episode with how it's all played out. Oh, it actually shows the drop point. That's good. Oh. Is that it? That's it. Okay. Yeah. I do like having one big box versus having a lot of small boxes. I could have done with higher sides though, I think. But as long as I can get a decent time with this... Oops. Also... Oh god, I'm now thinking about the fragile deliveries in Star Trek. I hope this thing says fragile. I hope it's not counting every bump and knock I give it, because that would be a problem. Oy vey. Yep. One minute 12. $740. Not the best. This vehicle. If I'd got a tall, if I had a deeper loading bay, I could have mounted an engine sideways on the back of a big carrier box, and then that would have been more stable, keeping it low to the ground and keeping the thing in. Or I could be able to lip towards the back of it to try and keep stuff inside. That might actually be a good idea for the other one too. The fact we've got an extra goods transport mission doesn't make me super happy. But we got the worm gear. Transmit power to radial gears oriented parallel to its axis. So yeah, this is another option for making the power turn a corner in a very compact space. It can be combined with larger gears though to also act as part of a power magnification or reduction. I didn't want to go into build for this one. Nope, this is a Mark 7H. It stays where it is. And for my own satisfaction, I've got time for one more race. And then I'll try to edit before I go to work, but no promises. Mark 10, you're coming out. Why is it analysing the Mark 10? The Mark 10's fine. What's wrong with it? Out of blocks 98. That's my game broken. I think my game is broken. Oh no, yeah. I just had to. It didn't load properly. Okay, got it. Right, Mark 10. Let's go on the back bridge. You are kind of heavy. You're based on the Mark 8 though. So I want to see how I'll do with something I considered a Mark though. I think the extra weight on this versus the 8 it's based on is actually detrimental. Oh well, this is a painful episode to do. One of the cruel things about this track is actually that downhill turn. If you're going too quickly, the downhill means you've actually got to be very careful with your speed on it. And yeah, that was a bit of a misturn on my part. But I'm off-road. This vehicle is actually fully off-road capable, so I don't really care too much. Oops. That was a bit of a braking issue. Come on. Mark 10. Are you justified to be a Mark? The problem with the Marks is I didn't actually test them before sending them into tracks, so I think you're good. But I don't know your full race performance because I never actually raced them until they show up in a video. At best, they get a little bit of test driving on the island, and that's it. I also keep getting these odd little lag spikes too. Don't know why. But yeah, this is going so much smoother. So much smoother than when I was trying with the other vehicles. Including the compact Mark 9.4. Which just couldn't turn to save its life. So, yeah. This was actually doing really good. Yep. Slightly overdid it. There's a bit of odd wheel juddering going on there. Oh, another slight lag. Come on, turn. You know you want to turn. There we go. Oh. The slope difference there was a bit of a pain. I kind of admit, something I've been trying to do in this game, and I like to try and do, is to show the gear shifting going on. So one of the things I personally like about this particular one is you can see the gears shifting in the back of it a little bit as you move around. Like I say, I like having the gear train on display. That's why I don't normally do too much bodywork wise. Okay, not good enough for silver, but still better than I did before. I'll take it. Top 73%. Yeah. I feel like this has just been a bit of an odd day in general. This was painful. Right. In closing, I'll just have a quick show you around of this guy. So I didn't actually show you this before, but as you can see, it's like, yeah. I even bolted in extra engines and things, which added a chunk to the weight, honestly. I might want to rip them out if I was to build this mark again. These extra electrics and extra combustions to get a little bit more power out of it. Because the power to rate is still best on the top engines, of which it's got a grand total of 2. 1 electric and 1 combustion. So yeah, might get better control if I tore out those extra engines in the sides. But gear chain wise, it's built around these same suspension, the same mounting points as the Mark 8 was. But then I turned the more complex 3-speed shifting arrangements with a planetary into it, sideways, and stuck that into the side of it, counterbalancing with the engine. And as you can see, there's a weight there just to even things out. Then, of course, at the back here, we have an optional step up with a 3 width gear versus a... That's the one. Versus that one. So that's the one we can see switching back and forth, which gives it an extra set of gears. If anything, this one goes to having too many gears, and this extra thing here was kind of unnecessary. But having that extra 1-to-1 or 3-onto-1 option gives this thing more acceleration in the low gears because it can bypass that bigger magnification on it. So yeah, that's all that, and this just feeds it all the way back into this one here, which is just as you see. Then there's another one over here, which feeds all these engines and into the engine at the front here as well. So this thing was a bit of a pain to try and work together because the chassis was a bit too small for what I was trying to do with it. But yeah, I like it. Anyway, with that last look at the Mark 10, which we might not see again, because honestly I think the Mark 8 might be slightly better, despite having less gearing. I'm going to call this episode and try to edit in... Oh, I don't have time to edit this. Dang it. I'm sorry, guys. This episode is going to come out later than it should have. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the show and my mental anguish and suffering. I feel like this one has actually made me kind of suffer a little bit. That was not fun. But there will be another episode of this because we got the new parts we can get. So we got 90 corners, we've got the gear plates, and we've got the worm gears to allow us for some more complex engine designs. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff helps out me, helps out channel, give me those virtual headbats I flat out need for this one. I also crave, but yeah, I kind of need after this. And I'll catch you all some other time. If you have any other ideas of kind of vehicles to try and make, then please do let me know. And I'll try to oblige, though if you don't mind, I'd rather not build a heavy diamond again, if that's all the same to you guys. But yeah, I'll see you all later. I need to get ready for work. Oh boy.